I had always been secure in the love my husband gave me. Every "I love you" felt like a promise, every kiss a declaration of his devotion. He always made me feel that no one was more important to him than me, that I was enough. But one evening while I was organizing our photos, wanting to preserve our happiest memories, I found something that shattered everything I believed was true. Hidden in a folder on his phone, nestled between pictures of our life together, were images and messages that weren't meant for my eyes. A secret life, ones I had never known existed, filled with flirtation, intimacy, and lies. We had been together for years, building a life that felt perfect. Our home was filled with love, laughter, plans, and a shared vision of forever. He told me daily that I was the one, the only one. I never suspected that the life we were building together had another chapter that didn't include me, a chapter kept hidden among digital files, tucked away in a folder that didn't even have the courtesy to be named. Until that moment, I thought I had everything I could ever need, thinking life with him meant life together. That was before I found the extras. For 5 seconds. I always believed his words, "You're enough, always," were as steadfast as the sunrise, promising a love that would never waver. I clung to those assurances, building my world around the conviction that I was his one and only. Then one ordinary evening, while casually scrolling through his phone, I stumbled upon a hidden folder labeled Extras. My heart froze as I opened it to reveal images and messages that betrayed everything I'd believed. Every tender "I love you" now felt hollow, every shared secret a lie. In that devastating moment, the foundation of our life crumbled, and I was forced to confront a truth I never wished to face. A truth that shattered my trust and my very soul. I still remember the early days of our relationship with a bittersweet clarity. We met on a rainy afternoon in a crowded cafe, the kind of serendipitous encounter that felt orchestrated by fate itself. His warm smile and gentle humor captivated me instantly, and our conversation flowed effortlessly as if we'd known each other for years. We spoke about our dreams, our fears, and the promise of a future built on unwavering devotion. I remember the way he would lean in, his eyes earnest and sparkling as he promised me that I was enough, that no one else could ever compare. Those words were my anchor, my comfort during stormy nights, and I believed them wholeheartedly, convinced that our love was unbreakable. As our relationship blossomed, we built a life together that I once thought was impenetrable. We moved into a small, sunlit apartment in a bustling city, where every corner of our home was filled with memories of laughter, shared meals, and quiet moments of understanding. He would often remind me how proud he was to have me by his side, how my love made him a better person. I decorated our living room with photos of our happiest moments, each snapshot a testament to the bond we cherished. Every morning, I woke up to the sound of his soft "Good morning, beautiful," and every night, I went to sleep with the comforting belief that I was the center of his universe. Yet, as time passed, subtle changes began to creep into our daily lives. He grew more secretive about his phone. I noticed him glancing at it with a furtive look when he thought I wasn't watching. At first, I brushed off these instances as nothing more than the quirks of a busy man, perhaps work pressures or a need for occasional solitude. I reassured myself with his familiar declarations that I was enough for him, that his love for me was pure and singular. I chose to believe him, to trust the promises he had made, even as an unspoken doubt began to linger at the edges of my mind. One quiet evening, after dinner and with the soft hum of our favorite jazz record in the background, I casually picked up his phone, intending only to check the time. Instead, my fingers brushed against an icon I had never noticed before, a hidden folder with a nondescript name that sent a shiver down my spine. Curiosity turned to dread as I tapped it open. There, before my eyes, was a series of photos, messages, and digital mementos that painted a picture of a secret life. A life where he had shared intimate moments with someone else. My heart pounded, and my hands trembled as I scrolled through images of candlelit dinners at fancy restaurants, covert rendezvous in sleek hotel rooms, and playful selfies that captured a connection I was not a part of. Each new revelation felt like a knife twisting deeper, severing the bonds of trust that I had so lovingly nurtured. 4 hours that night, I sat alone in our dimly lit living room, the once familiar space now cold and alien. I replayed every memory, every tender "I love you," every whispered promise of forever, and felt each one disintegrate in the face of the evidence I had uncovered. The betrayal was all-encompassing, a crushing weight that left me breathless. I questioned everything. How long had he been hiding this secret? Had I been nothing more than an afterthought in his life? The images, so vivid and undeniable, shattered the illusion of our shared dreams. I felt like I was drowning in a sea of betrayal, the very foundation of my identity splintering beneath the weight of his deception. In the days that followed, I began to piece together the fragments of his hidden life. I saved every screenshot from the folder, meticulously noting the dates, times, and locations of his secret meetings. I discovered that these covert encounters weren't isolated incidents. They were a carefully woven pattern, a tapestry of deceit that spanned months, perhaps even years. The evidence was overwhelming, a digital confession that his love for me was not as absolute as I had believed. I created a folder on my laptop labeled Truth, where I stored every piece of evidence, each file a testament to the betrayal that now defined my reality. The more I uncovered, the more I questioned the sincerity of his words. I remembered the way he would hold me close on chilly evenings, his whispered promises of a future together echoing in my ears. I recalled the plans we had made, dream vacations, the home we had envisioned decorating together, even the little daily rituals that had once filled me with joy. Now, every promise felt tainted, every memory a painful reminder that the man I loved had been living a double life. I felt a profound sense of loss, not just for the future we had planned but for the trust and the honesty that had once been the cornerstone of our relationship. My emotions oscillated wildly between heartbreak, anger, and a paralyzing sense of disbelief. I found myself wandering through our home, each room a ghost of what once was, each familiar corner now echoing with questions I could not answer. I questioned whether I had been too trusting, too willing to believe in the pure love he had promised. The pain was relentless, and for nights on end I lay awake, my mind consumed by the images and the truth I had uncovered. It was as if the very essence of our life together had been a carefully constructed illusion, one that he had maintained with an ease that now seemed cruel in its betrayal. Unable to keep this devastating secret to myself, I confided in my closest friend, a compassionate soul who had always been there to lend a shoulder in times of sorrow. Over long, tearful conversations in quiet cafes, I recounted every detail of my discovery, the hidden folder, the intimate photos, the unmistakable evidence of a secret love that I was never a part of. "You deserve the truth," she said softly, her eyes brimming with empathy. "You deserve a love that is honest and complete." Her words, gentle yet powerful, stirred something deep within me, a determination to reclaim my self-worth and my future, no matter how painful the journey ahead might be. Buoyed by my friend's unwavering support, I resolved to confront him and demand answers. I spent days preparing for that inevitable conversation, rehearsing my words until they echoed with both sorrow and resolve. I stood before the mirror repeatedly, each time reminding myself that I was not defined by his betrayal, that I was stronger than the sum of his deceit. "I trusted you with everything," I whispered, "and you shattered that trust with lies." Each repetition was a promise, a vow to myself that I would not allow this betrayal to break me, that I would face the truth however painful and reclaim my future. The day of the confrontation arrived on a cold, overcast afternoon that seemed to mirror the chill that had settled in my heart. I sat in our living room, the folder of evidence clutched tightly in my hands, waiting for him to return from one of his late meetings. Every minute stretched out, a torturous countdown to a moment I both dreaded and knew was necessary. When he finally walked through the door, his face was a mask of calm, his eyes betraying nothing of the secrets he had kept. I rose from my seat, took a deep breath, and met his gaze with a mixture of sorrow and unyielding determination. "We need to talk," I said quietly, my voice steady despite the storm raging within. He paused, his eyes briefly flickering toward the folder resting on the coffee table. In that moment, I saw a flash of something, perhaps guilt, perhaps fear, before he forced a smile that did little to hide the tremor in his expression. I placed the folder in front of him and began to speak, my words deliberate and laden with heartbreak. "I trusted every word you said," I said, believing that our life together was built on honesty and love. "But this folder, these screenshots, these photos, reveal a truth I can no longer ignore. How could you lead a double life, making promises of forever while hiding secrets that belong to someone else?" His face went pale, and for a long, painful moment, silence reigned between us, a silence that was heavier than any words could be. He tried to offer excuses, murmuring about work stress and harmless fun, but the evidence was irrefutable, a damning testament to the betrayal I had discovered. The confrontation was a collision of raw emotion and stark truth, a moment when every promise he had made was reduced to shards of broken trust. I could feel the weight of every "I love you" that had once filled me with hope, now twisted into a cruel reminder of the lies that had built our shared future on a foundation of deceit. I demanded that he explain how he could betray the love we had nurtured, how he could keep such secrets hidden behind a facade of loyalty. His silence, punctuated by feeble attempts at justification, spoke volumes. In that moment, I knew that our future together, the one we had dreamed of and built with so much hope, was irreparably shattered. In the days that followed the confrontation, I withdrew into a profound solitude, the pain of betrayal echoing through every corner of our now silent home. I spent long hours alone rereading the evidence, questioning every memory, and mourning the loss of a future that was built on empty promises. I wandered through each room, the familiar spaces now transformed into stark reminders of the secrets that had been hidden from me. The ache of heartbreak was constant, a deep, gnawing sorrow that seemed to seep into my very bones. Yet amid the darkness, a small flame of resolve began to flicker. I realized that while the betrayal had shattered the dreams we once shared, it also offered me the chance to rebuild my life on my own terms, to rediscover my worth, to reclaim my dignity, and to forge a future defined not by lies but by truth. I sought solace in therapy, pouring out every raw emotion into the safe haven of my counselor's office. In those quiet sessions, I learned to untangle the complex web of grief, anger, and self-doubt that had engulfed me. I filled countless pages of my journal with my thoughts and feelings, each entry a cathartic release of the pain and a stepping stone toward healing. Slowly, I began to see that the scars of betrayal, though they might never fully fade, could serve as powerful symbols of my resilience. A reminder that I had the strength to rise from the ruins of broken trust and rebuild a future that was entirely my own. Publicly, the unraveling of our once happy life became a quiet subject among our circle of friends and family. Whispers of sympathy and gentle words of encouragement followed me wherever I went. I began to share fragments of my journey on a personal blog, writing candidly about the heartbreak, the confrontation, and the arduous process of reclaiming my life. The outpouring of support from strangers and old friends alike was overwhelming, a tapestry of shared pain and hope that reminded me I was not alone. Every message of solidarity was a small beacon of light, guiding me through the darkest moments and reaffirming my belief that I was worthy of a love built on honesty and respect. As the months turned into a year, I slowly began to rediscover who I was before the betrayal, a woman with dreams, passions, and an unyielding capacity for love. I ventured cautiously back into the world of dating, each new encounter approached with a blend of guarded optimism and the hard-won lessons of my past. Every sincere smile, every gentle conversation, began to stitch together the broken pieces of my heart, forming a new tapestry of hope and resilience. I learned that true love must be transparent, that every promise must be honored with sincerity, and that I deserved a partner who cherished my trust as much as I cherished theirs. With each passing day, I grew stronger, and the painful memories gradually gave way to a newfound hope for a future defined by truth. Now, as I sit in the soft, warm glow of my modest apartment, a space I have lovingly transformed into a sanctuary of healing, I reflect on the long, winding journey that brought me here. The memory of that hidden folder, the intimate confessions of his secret life, remains etched in my heart as a painful reminder of the fragility of trust. Yet it is also a testament to the strength I discovered within myself, a strength that allowed me to confront the truth, reclaim my dignity, and rebuild my future on my own terms. Every sunrise is now a promise of new beginnings, a chance to rewrite my story, to embrace a future where my destiny is mine to create, free from the shadows of betrayal. I now move forward with an unshakable conviction that I deserve a love that is genuine, transparent, and built on mutual respect. A future where trust is not a fragile illusion, but a solid foundation for everything I hold dear. I stand today as a survivor, a woman whose heart, though scarred by the wounds of deception, beats with the unyielding promise of self-respect and hope. Every new day is a fresh canvas, a chance to forge a future defined not by the lies of the past, but by the brilliant light of truth and the resilient spirit that I have cultivated through my journey of healing. This is my story, a journey of shattered promises, heart-wrenching betrayal, and ultimately the triumphant reclamation of my life. I trusted him with everything, believing in the sacred vows he made, and I built my dreams on the promise of a future together. But when I discovered the hidden folder on his phone, when I saw the intimate confessions of a secret life that he had so carefully concealed, the future we planned crumbled into a bitter reality of deceit. In that devastating moment, I found the strength to gather every piece of evidence, to confront the painful truth, and to reclaim my destiny from the ruins of betrayal. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of raw, unfiltered pain has led me to this place, a place of quiet strength and unyielding determination, where I now stand as a survivor ready to create a future defined by honesty, respect, and the unbreakable promise that I am worthy of a love that is real. Every sunrise now is an invitation to begin anew, a chance to rewrite my story and to build a future on my own terms. I have learned that even in the face of the deepest betrayal, there is a power within me that can transform heartbreak into hope, sorrow into strength, and shattered dreams into the building blocks of a brighter tomorrow. I now step forward with a heart that beats with resilience and a spirit unbroken by deception, determined to live a life filled with genuine love and unwavering honesty. My journey has taught me that my worth is not defined by the lies of a deceitful past, but by the strength I possess to shape my own destiny, a destiny illuminated by the brilliant light of truth, self-respect, and the promise of a new beginning.